All right, let's go ahead and here. Then we'll get started. Tonight's going to be a really great night. Tonight's going to be a really great night, guys. If you are interested in joining the conversation, get in the box. Bonjour. If you are interested in joining, get in the box. We are getting ready to start. This is a panel discussion. This is late night, so that means that anyone can join. Anyone that is interested in joining the conversation, you can join the conversation. You just have to be prepared to have the conversation. But it's going to be an awesome night. It's going to be an awesome night. We are talking about online communities, and we have been going through a couple of different things when it comes to online communities. Last night, we had a really good conversation about the parasocial relationship that can be created when we actually build these online communities. We've been talking about the spaces. We've been talking about tribalism. We've been talking about the social outcasts. And tomorrow, we're going to really dig into the big premise, which is ensuring that we are connecting and building, especially the right way. But with that being said, tonight is going to be heavily focused around social outcasts. I want to really talk about some of the harmful aspects of not only not being able to find the right type of online community, but what happens when you are rejected and you just search out any type of online community. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you are interested in joining the conversation, get in the box.
This ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it. Let's go. Late nights, truth in the combo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams in the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures. But the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late nights with Santana. Yeah, Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, just a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah, late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights, no static. No highlight reel, just the soul's reflection. No shade throwing, just connection. From streetwise truths to deep reflections, we turn hard talks into blessings. They say they run a game, we build new rules. We here to heal, uplift, and break the old rules. They kept us boxed in, divided by fear. But you find us lined up when the truth appears. Yeah, weekly topics, hearts wide open. No judgment, just motion. Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Joe's still watching, no fronting. Yeah, late nights with Santana. You already know.
Late nights with Santana.
Late nights, no static. Yeah, Mama Joe's watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, it's a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Weekly topics, hearts wide open. No judgment, just motion. Real ones talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah, late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights. Late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights.
Guys, welcome in. This is Late Nights with Santana. And if you are interested in joining the conversation, get in the box. We are talking about online communities, the different aspects of online communities. And tonight we are really going to dig into what it looks like when people are rejected from online communities. This is a super important conversation. So if you are interested in joining said conversation, get up here. But if you are in the comments, guys, keep tapping the screen. Please tap the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 25,000 likes. Also, I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1 cent gift goals. If we can knock those out a couple of times, it will push us out to the FYP. Last but not least, if you have not sent your daily heart me, go ahead and do so. It's only 1 coin. It will boost the live as well and get us out to the FYP. I'm going to start bringing people in. I'm going to start bringing people in. But as I bring people in, guys, please mute yourself. As we get in, please mute yourself. We will go around the horn and do a quick introduction. But while I get people in, please remember to mute yourself. All right, let's see here. I want to grab a couple of people that, let's see, because there's a couple of people that I told to come back last night. I want to make sure that they get the first right of refusal. And then I want to get a couple of people that I know for a fact have been trying to get in here. So let's see. Boom.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and mute you. Yes. Again, guys, request up if you're interested in joining the conversation. I'm going to try to make sure that I keep this flowing as much as possible, and get as many people in as possible. But again, if you are interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and request up. Chewy. All right. Let's see here. Oh, dang, I thought I grabbed Chewy. Hold on. Don't move on me, box. All right. All right. All good. One more. Oh, let's grab you. All right. And guys, if you are not up on the panel yet, no worries. We will absolutely get you up here as soon as possible. But if you don't mind, again, keep tapping the screen, share the live. Let's get the likes up to 50,000 likes, and I will reset the daily gift goal, and we can knock that out. Also, guys, just a reminder, with late nights here, the way that we could support the community, the way that we continue to be able to do the things that we do here with these panel discussions is by your support. So if you would like to actually support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links and links are in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. Let's start with a quick introduction. All right, Mr. Brightside. You welcome back, or Mr. Bright, sorry. Mr. Bright, welcome back.
Hey, what's going on, Santana? How's it going?
Good. Mr. Bright, can you tell the people, what are your thoughts on online communities? And have you ever been in a situation where you were possibly drawn into a negative online community?
Absolutely. You can call me Kyle too, if that's easier.
I'm not going to necessarily remember, but I'm going to try. I'm so bad with names.
You're good. So yeah, like I was, because I was on last night, and I said a little bit about online communities, and I think, obviously they can be great, but I also think they can also create a sense of invisibility with some people, like in the communities. I've never had any experience with like any negative communities. Like I've never been drawn into any of bad communities or anything. But I have felt invisible in some of the other like some of the gaming communities that I've been a part of. For example, like the Elden Ring subreddit. I'll scroll through and I'll look through, and I see all the comments, the threads, and all that stuff. But I'll make a post, or I'll try to comment on a thread, and I don't necessarily get negative feedback, but I get little to no feedback. Yeah. Because maybe it feels like my input is being drowned out by more prominent voices or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can definitely understand how that would actually shape your interaction with the community. All right. Perfect. Give me 1 second, Kyle. Mary, how are you?
Hi, Santana. I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Mary, can you tell the people again, what are your thoughts on online communities? And have you ever been pulled into an online community that could be considered a negative one?
I think online communities can be both good and bad. And my personal experience, I have been pulled into Jesus. Sorry, I have been pulled into a
Negative community?
a negative community on Zoom.
Right.
And
Okay.
it gave me a really bad taste. It was just unpretty.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Give me 1 second. Brittany, how are you?
Hey, Santana, I'm good. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. How are we feeling? How your family? How everybody doing? Everybody good? How your people?
It's suffering. I just maced the whole house. I was cooking hot chicken and I burnt some peppers and I maced the whole house.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, Brittany, can you tell the people, how do you feel about online communities, and have you ever been pulled into a negative online community?
Yeah, so I think online communities are an extremely powerful tool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're inherently good or bad, but I think they're so powerful by the kind of connection that they open us up to, that they can be any community, even if it's intended to be good or bad, can be utilized by individual people for that. And I specifically was in what should have been
shuffling. Like
sorry about that.
I don't know if you were rubbing up against something or whatever the mic, but it's like kind of hard to hear you.
Hold on just a second. I'll take off Bluetooth and see if that makes it better.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Also, Unique Right, thank you so much for the shares. But we're good. You don't need to share that many times. Spam sharing is not good for the live. Thank you so much for the shares, but we are good with the shares. Thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is that better?
Yes.
Perfect. So yeah, I think it's a really powerful tool. I wound up in a what should have been a positive space and was kind of a social outcast and got taken advantage of somebody that took 5 years to get out of.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Give me 1 second here. Thank you. Angie, how are you? Angie?
Hello. Hi, Santana.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
Wonderful. Can you tell the people, what are your thoughts on online communities? And have you ever been pulled into a negative online community?
I think online communities are very informative. I like to see the bonds that people make in some of them. I have not been pulled into a negative one.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. 1 moment. Is it Jenny Alice?
Hey, you can call me Jeannie.
Jeannie Alice. Sorry. Jeannie Alice.
All good. And just by the way, I'm when I usually donate to you, it's Alicia.
Hey, Alicia.
Hey, how you doing?
Wonderful. Wait, so what do you want me to call you?
Jeannie works because that's my middle name. And to be honest, I'm just gonna. Is it okay if I just very quickly explain why?
Sure.
So, my middle name's Jean, and so is 2 of my cousins, but both of them passed away over the last 10 years. So I call myself Alicia J. No matter where I am, and I use my middle name as my first name on TikTok just because I want to keep them alive.
Got it. That makes perfect sense. All right. Well, Jenny, can you tell the people, what do you think about online communities, and have you ever gotten pulled into a negative one?
I absolutely can. So, online communities, I think, can be extremely productive and beautiful, but when it turns parasocial and or when there's a little bit too much, let's say, emotion involved, it can turn very toxic. But I myself have not, I haven't really ever been a part of a very negative community, but I think I've removed myself before it got to that point. But that's pretty much it.
Okay. Perfect. All right. 1 moment. Chewy. What up, Chewy?
Good evening, friend. Hope you're
How are
well.
you?
I'm in the thick of it, so to speak,
I
for
can imagine.
getting out there and meeting constituents.
I can imagine. That's got to be a heck of a task. Also, I just thought about this, and I don't know if you ever did or did not. But wait, you know Kay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Send Kay something. I would love to see what I can do to help out.
I will do that. Thank you very much.
All right. Chewy, can you tell the people, what do you think about online communities? And have you ever had any negative experiences with any?
I think online communities are a wonderful bridge, especially say for like example me, where I'm in a very rural community where I do not necessarily mesh perfectly well with everyone around me. So finding like-minded people that share interests and views is a wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a part of many great communities, like especially here on TikTok, and unfortunately some of them have gone sideways. It happens. It's not that necessarily they were a bad community, but there may have been bad actors or we didn't mesh, and that's something I think people have to realize. It's not necessarily that community's fault or your fault. Like that just happens, and like it's same as in IRL. You know, you don't always mesh with everyone, and like that doesn't mean you have to go drag people or tear people down. And that's what I think is lost sometimes in these online communities.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do think that there is a large swath of people that get caught up in that negativity and they don't know how to pull away from it. But absolutely, perfect. All right, thank you. One moment. And last but not least, Swan. Swan, how are you this evening?
Doing well, Santana. How are you?
Wonderful. Swan, can you tell the people one more time, what are your thoughts on online communities? And have you ever been involved in a negative online community?
My thoughts on online communities are, I think it's really important for people to remember why they get involved in a community and to stay focused on that and to learn when to step away or break away when it no longer becomes that. I was involved in a community where we would talk about things pertaining to misogyny, misogynoir, and patriarchy. Mm-hmm. But over time, I think there was a lot of there were a lot of things that was happening that wasn't productive in my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. And I think it started to cause harm amongst people, just involved in the discussions that we were having. So I had to step away, which I'm fine with that decision. For me, I think that if we're going to be talking about systemic issues, right, or hierarchies that exist, then we really need to be strategic when we have these discussions, and education should always be at the center of that. Empirical evidence, that's the most important thing for me, and it wasn't that type of a conversation anymore, so I stepped away. But on the flip side, I think online communities can be extremely beneficial. For example, what we've been doing with Elvis lately, we're now working on assisting him with helping to pay off more medical debt for people in the Congo. There are some organizations out there that still participate in the exploitation of people in the Congo. They don't necessarily help, but they kind of mask themselves as being helpful. I think for us, working with Elvis, he's a filmmaker. He used to work for British Broadcasting Company, but he's able to give people the real deal since he's in the Congo, and you can see how your contributions are being used. And we've cut out the middleman. So there isn't anything that's being taken away and going to just like some organization and whatever it is that they want. Because that does happen often, unfortunately, on the continent, whenever you have these missionary groups or these groups coming in to assist. But yeah, that's my response.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Swan. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. A couple of quick reminders before we get too far. Reminders for the people on the panel. Guys, please be mindful to use TikTok-friendly language. What do I mean by that? We want to use words like pew pew, unalive, C19, mustache man, all of those things that will not only protect your TikTok, but it will protect the live. Also, a reminder, this is a safe and friendly community. What does that mean? That means we don't deal with any of the isms, racism, sexism, classism. We also don't do any of the phobias, homophobia, transphobia, none of that. We don't play that on the panel nor in the chat. And speaking of chat, guys, please, please, please be mindful. Caps are for mods. If you use caps in the chat, it will draw my attention away from the panel and to the chat. And I want to make sure that we can focus on this conversation. So please be mindful of that. Continue to do all the wonderful things. Tap the screen, share the live. Let's get the likes up to 75,000 likes. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to the little 1 cent gift goal. It'll boost the live and help us get out to the FYP. Last but not least, like I said before, supporting the live, you can do so Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links and Linktree in bio. Santana Speaks for You. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. This is how we keep this live going and doing what we do here. And so I want to say W's in the chat for Renegade, who sent a $10 super chat to say on the topic of outcasts. I owe my life to the online communities found. Family has pulled me back from the dark places, but also sent me to some. Listen, I understand that. And we're going to get into that. W's in the chat for Renegade. W's in the chat for Justin, who sent a $5 donation, said, hope you're doing well, Santana. Thank you for teaching me more about Black History Month. As a 19-year-old, thank you for teaching me about stuff I didn't know. Much love, brother. Much love. I'm shocked and happy to hear you say that, but absolutely. Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you for supporting the live and what we do here on Late Nights. W's in the chat for Lincoln. For the $20 donation, Lincoln said, hi, Santana, feeling good today. I wanted to say thank you for what you did the other day again. No worries, friend. Legit feels good today. I made plans to start going to the gym with my friend this evening. Well, go get your workout on and listen to the live. It'll be good. And last but not least, W's in the chat for Gene. Gene sent a $1 donation and said, W Young Boomer, a.k.a. Santana, a.k.a. Boontana. Yeah, I struggled through it earlier. Anyway, W's in the chat for all the people who are donating to the live. All right, so let's get started. We've been talking about how these online communities affect and shape people. And we've talked about the ability to find the right online communities, which is super important. But something that a lot of people don't necessarily understand is when we do come across these people who are searching for online communities, online spaces, somewhere where they can be a part of something, and they're met with tribalism, the rejection of not being one of us, it can shape these people to become outcasts. And so when you start to see movements like the Red Pill movement, you start seeing people who are incels, Black Pill, Manosphere, all of those types of things that lean into the negative aspects of online communities, and it shifts them towards offline communities. You get those people who look for community in places like Nick Fuentes with Groypers. That's something that is overwhelmingly dangerous and harmful. And we all have a part to play in that. It's interesting. I was having a conversation and I had to actually check myself. Everyone knows about like the young man that came on my live like not too long ago, and he wanted to debate abortions, right? He wanted to debate like women and their bodies and all this other stuff, but he didn't know the basic information about women and their bodies, but yet he still wanted to do it. And what proceeded was a back and forth between he and I ended up, kind of making fun of him for the fact that he didn't even know the basic thing about women. And I didn't realize it in that moment, but afterwards, after having a conversation with someone way wiser than myself, I realized that I missed an opportunity. I missed an opportunity to have a personable moment with this young man and say like, hey, you don't need to go down the right-wing path of saying like, hey, I have to control you and your body, my choice. Like there's different options, and I could have handled that in a different way. So I learned something afterwards, and it made me take a step back and evaluate myself, especially when it comes to the way that I deal with young people. So Swan, I'm going to come to you first. I'm going to do a little bit of heavy leaning, but Swan, I know that you often run into people that when they come into your space, they come into your live, they want to debate, they want to push back on the premise. But a lot of times they either don't know or they're just looking for somewhere to be heard. What's your experience with coming across people that just want to be heard, even if it's at the expense of being a contrarian? And how have you learned to deal with those where you're not necessarily shaming or pushing them away, but like actually trying to teach them?
So for me, I think I usually start by asking questions, and I think the responses really tell me like how the conversation is going to go. If a person is receptive, and I find that maybe they're misinformed, but they're receptive, then I will go down the route of giving more information, or at least pointing a person in the right direction to where they can get the information from, especially if it is a Black woman or femme presenting person, for very specific reasons. Now, if they are like, if they're not receptive, then I'm just going to continue to challenge them throughout the entire discussion. But I do think that like we have definitely had some moments where we can, it starts off kind of rocky, but we end up, educating this person. For example, we had somebody that came up, and he's a young Black man who had said that a racist organization that Black people have created was the Black Panther Party, and I about, hit the ceiling. Mm-hmm. The Black Panther Party was not a racist group. They did things and implemented things in society that are beneficial to people right now, that all people benefit from. And it was just really jarring to hear somebody say that that was something that was harmful, especially when you understand like the Rainbow Coalition and how Fred Hampton functioned and operated. I was really shocked to hear a young Black man say that. And I think for me, immediately, the first thing I thought of was there's an age gap. I have a great uncle who was a part of the Black Panther Party, right? My parents would watch documentaries and they educated us on these things. And I don't know his experiences at home. I don't know how he grew up. So he may just be misinformed. I also know that there's a lot of times when you have a movement or things that Black people do in terms of activism for us and for all marginalized communities, we tend to get heavily scrutinized. So maybe he's getting the version of hearing about them that's just not true. So we actually were able to kind of have a breakthrough. He said, I never really like thought about these things. I didn't really talk about these things too much. So I just assumed. And he still comes back to my space today. And I think in that moment, instead of like making fun of him or ostracizing him for that, we were able to like, for me, I was able to think about it. I'm like, okay, he's receptive. He just doesn't have the education. And that's what he needs. Once he gets the education, now, if he still continues to remain ignorant and speaks ill on them, then, that's his, then we're going to have to separate. But the fact that he was receptive, and I realized it was just a lack of education, and we were able to give him that education, I think that moment just spoke volumes. It just felt really good to have that breakthrough moment. But you got to feel it out first. If they're receptive and they look like me, absolutely, I'm going to educate. If they don't look like me, I'm going to refer them to someone that can educate them, because the deconstructing process is different. But for me, that's how I approach it. Now, if they come up there acting like a kadunkachud, as our mutual solid would say, then you're going to catch the smoke, this intellectual smoke. But yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. I think that there's something to be said about leading with kindness and leading with grace, because not everyone should be treated the same way. That's one of the things that, like, not only do I pride myself on, but the people that I actually interact with, especially the people that I interact with when, in the debate space, you understand that, like, not everyone needs to be hit with a hammer. Sometimes you have to slow walk some people. Sometimes you have to, educate some people, but it's about understanding the situation, the place, and the space, and making sure that you give that room to do so. And so I think that's super important. Perfect. Thank you, Swan. I want to come to Chewy. Chewy, I want to actually find out from you, because I know you're in a unique situation, right? Because not only are you someone who has an online presence, but you are literally in the process of being active within your community, running for an elected position, and trying to shift and change something within your community. Now, you have an interesting perspective in the sense that you can directly shape young minds, and you're going to have to talk to these young people. You're going to have to talk to people who may not have community and are actually in your community. How are you planning on approaching that? And what's been your reception? Have you come across any people who've felt disenfranchised by their politicians, by their communities, by others, and let them know, like, hey, I'm someone that you can rally around and I'm going to pull everyone together. How do you do that?
Wonderful question. So, like, obviously, I've taken things I've learned through like the online communities and what I've done to like build friendships and reach out to people. And I apply like what I've learned, good and bad, when I approach people. And the biggest thing is listening. And that's like we get into like these like debate lives and stuff, and we're so ready to jump down people, tell them, hey, this is the information you need to do. And in real life, the biggest, most important thing you can do is listen, because there's so many people that just do not feel heard, especially by politicians. And that's part of what really like engaged me, because whether it be left side, right side, there's so much party affiliation, so much you need to speak to leadership, that you don't listen to the constituency anymore. You don't listen to the people, and these people feel lost. And that's when they can go to those dark places or fall for the misinformation because they are not felt, seen, or heard. And that's one of the things you have to go around and break down. And when you're in, more friendly territory, it's a lot easier to have those conversations because they're already receptive to what you have to say. And then they're willing to engage. But when you go into places where they might be diametrically opposed to you on certain views, you really have to do some heavy lifting there to build that bridge before they are willing to open up to you, because they're kind of in that attack because they feel forgotten. And that has been like the hardest part. Is they say something misinformation, I immediately want to be like, I need to jump on that. And I'm like, nope, let them get it out, and then address that concern that they have. And then once they're listening, once you've broken down that first barrier, then you can go in, break down that misinformation and give education. And that takes time. It doesn't always happen in one conversation. But if you just forget them and move on, you're leaving them where they are at, and that allows them to fall further, feel more disenfranchised, and continues to create the problems that we're seeing across the U.S. right now, where people have felt so pushed away that they're going to these radical places.
You know what? And kind of a follow-up question, because that's exactly what I was thinking. And I think that something that I talk about often is like how MAGA came about, right? And Chewy, you tell me if you think that I'm off base. I think the reason why Donald Trump was so successful in 2016 is because he took a group of people who felt unheard, who felt unseen, who felt like there was quote unquote nothing special, and he gave them something that made them feel special. He gave them, a red hat and said, you put this on, people will respect you because this red hat represents power and fame and, being a playboy and all this other stuff. But he made them feel heard and seen, which again, is something where a bunch of people are just looking for community. Am I off base with that's one of the most powerful things that Donald Trump was able to do when it came to galvanizing people, is making them feel seen, heard, and feel special?
No, I think you're on point, and I think it also even plays into like the parasocial aspect of the online spaces, is because they've clamped onto that so much, and they think that by following this rhetoric and these talking points, being feel heard, that they feel connected to this person, and that at the end of the day, he doesn't know you from anyone else, but they've created this illusion in their head that because he's listening to me, he knows me, he's going to lift me up. If he were to come to my town, he would high five me, like, no, obviously that's a little facetious, but like that's truly how people feel. And I've heard these conversations like, this guy gets me. And I'm like, why do you feel like he gets you? And like they'll bring up like talking points, and I'm like, so how has that been directly applied to you? Has anything changed? Has he actually heard your voice, or did he play on that lack of feeling, that lack of support? that you've had in your life. And that's where it usually ends up becoming a thing where and sometimes they have that aha moment where they're like, no, he hasn't heard me, but I thought he did.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Chewy. Thank you. Angie, I want to come to you. Angie, something that has been, something that has been, I saw something that caught my attention. W's in the chat for management. Something that's been interesting is the aspect of like how red pill culture has taken over, right? And we see a lot of young men specifically that have turned towards this toxicity of I'm an alpha. I need to be someone who is like the leader and all this other stuff. But from my opinion, it's created based off of a lack of actual, not only emotional intelligence, but a lack of understanding how to connect with the opposite sex, how to connect with women, how to connect with anyone that is not, like, I'm the strongest, I'm the toughest. So Angie, what do you think about these young men or men, period, who lean on the negativity of like the manosphere or red pill culture or incels? What do you think about that? And how is that hurting the dynamic of them coming into, being prepared for whether it be, a relationship, a marriage, having children, or even just functioning in society when they're going through that type of mindset and they're going to have to deal with other people and the way that their actions will reflect on women?
That's a good question because I've only seen them online. I am not near any of them. I sure wouldn't want my daughters to date them. That's for sure. They seem.
What do you think you would do in that situation if there was somehow, one of those guys and they showed up and they're like, hey, your daughter sure looks good in that kitchen. That's gonna be my future trad wife. What do you think in that situation? And like in real life, how are you preparing your daughter for those type of people? Because they exist.
Oh yeah. I have 3 girls and none of them would have somebody like that. None of them. I've had 3 boys and one of them, he used to kind of say stuff like that, trying to be funny. But then he joined the Navy and had some classes on how to be with females and how to respect them.
Women.
And how he could be charged with a verbal assault for even saying those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, it's interesting, even more so. I think it's super important that parents start to instill that in their children, right? And I know personally myself, I try to make sure that when I have the conversation with my boys, that I always lead with love and kindness, not being toxic. There's never a situation where I tell my sons like, hey, straighten up, boys don't cry or whatever. I think those type of things lead into not only negative stereotypes, but it pushes them towards a suppression of feelings, which then push them in those negative directions.
Absolutely. Okay. Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right. One moment. Jenny, coming to you. Jenny, do you know who Kevin Samuels was?
Sorry, I know that name, but no, please tell me.
Okay, listen. For anyone who doesn't know, Kevin Samuels was the OG of toxic masculinity, especially within blacks and black culture, right? Kevin Samuels was someone who somehow made it big off of telling women that, like, hey, you're overweight or you don't look good or da 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 da. You're not good enough but he was the first person, at least that I heard, pushing the narrative of high value men. Have you ever heard that one?
I absolutely have.
Okay. So Kevin Samuel was the first person that I heard pushing the thought and the premise of high value men. Now, this is something that not only has caught on, but has continued to encapsulate men within society. But I think women have also gotten attached to it as well, thinking that a man needs to have this, or a man needs to have this. He needs to make this amount of money. He has to be this tall. He has to be that. Jenny, how is that shaping our society today when you have certain people who are so enthralled in these superficial aspects or a checklist that they're shaping people's reality by saying you have to meet these standards? How do you think that actually impacts our society today?
That is an extremely great question. And to be honest, I'm going to tell you first off, I'm the kind of person that never really paid attention to that bullshit from a young
language.
From,
late night.
Sorry.
My mom is watching.
I'm so sorry. I was the kind of person and am still the kind of person that never paid attention to that stuff. But I have noticed it. I like to keep abreast of what's happening. So let me try and figure this out. So basically, there's the red pill incel side, right? Mm-hmm. And you're saying that basically there's somewhat of an equal side on the women's part, or not?
Yeah. Listen, a lot of people think that with the incels and red pill and the manosphere, it's only encompassing men, but women get caught up in it as well. And the thing about women getting caught up in it, the reason why it's so prevalent is because there are some women that it resonates with, right? There are some women that say, oh, this is what I'm looking for. Oh, I need a leader. Oh, I need me a man's man, someone who's going to be an alpha or something like that. And so it's two sides. So it's really prevalent with the men, but it wouldn't work if there wasn't women that were propping it up as well.
You're absolutely correct. And you're talking more so about women that sort of identify with the somewhat trad slash.
There you go.
Yeah.
The trad wife. Yep.
Yeah. So, okay. And you're basically asking me what my opinion on this is, or why I think this is prevalent.
Yeah. How do you think that's impacting our current society?
Oh my goodness. Wow. It is honestly first of all, I do want to say that unfortunately, because the internet is a thing, it is a little bit more prevalent. Remember back in the day when people had crazy ideas and it was kind of just held to a smaller kind of area, and people were like, oh no, that person's just, but nowadays on the internet, you will always find people who are into what you're saying. So basically, that's why the incel community exists. And then there are women who are all for it. So why I think it's prevalent, unfortunately, I think it's a lack of community, a lack of people who know themselves and who are trying to find community. So basically kind of exactly what we're talking about tonight. And not even just online community, just community in general, in general. Sorry. And I think that's why online spaces and online communities sometimes can be a bit dangerous, because if you go into them without the proper, let's say, confidence and sense of self, people can get lost in that. So I think that men and women alike, and everybody else they just want to find somewhere they belong. And sometimes that's the worst place that they can find.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I know for a fact that That's something that happens so much, and it's not only something that happens within like just a specific area of the internet. It's become more popular, and it's become more popular within and a couple of different things when it comes to like like I've named Manosphere, Trad Wife, but there's so many like gaming communities, all this other stuff. But you're absolutely right. Perfect. Give me 1 second, Jenny. Brittany, I'm gonna kind of flip this on you, and the only reason I'm gonna flip you on it is because I know at the very least you're in my Discord. But
yeah, absolutely,
Brittany, these type of negative environments, they have to have somewhere to coalesce, and if they're not coalescing offline, then they're always coalescing online. What do you think the impact of being able to have safe places like a Discord, like a Reddit, like a 4chan, those type of places where these people not only can go and indulge in those negative aspects that they're looking to continue to perpetuate, but learn from each other, right? Because listen, it's like I'm negative, you negative, we're gonna throw negativity together and we're gonna be super negative, right? But like, how do you think that actually, or what do you think about that and the aspect that a lot of people have now started to create, like specifically Discord servers for this type of stuff? There's Reddit, feeds for all of this, and people continue to not only partake in it, but feed into it, make it bigger. What do you think of that and the impacts that it has on our current society?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the big aspects of what causes that is the baseline of parasocial relationships, and it can start with someone that you see even as a positive figure, and that you want to emulate certain aspects because you create that parasocial relationship where you're dependent on them and much more attached to them than they are to you. And these can be people that you don't realize initially are actually a negative influence, but you see something you think is positive and won't. And so it creates this point of that sunk cost fallacy, where at some point people do start to realize they're like, oh, maybe this part isn't good, but I followed them. I've done all of these things, to where by that point you're so invested into it emotionally, with time, like sometimes financially, like you've poured into this so much and you've made it so much of your identity of who you see yourself as, that it becomes nearly impossible to say, oh, all of this thing that I was wrong.
Yeah.
And so anybody that tries to tell you differently, now it's an attack on you. Now it's somebody telling you that they're coming after you, that you're part of the problem. So we dig in and we fight because we're taught to fight in everything in our education, from our history. Like, it's glorified to be someone who fights and defends what they have, and not acknowledge that like we could be wrong.
No, listen, I talk about this all the time, and I talk about like an amygdala response, right? The fight or flight reaction. And you see that when these type of people, when they get so deep into that, I was listening to someone talk about like what's offered when it comes to like being red pill or whatever, and they give like tangible achievable goals where you can work on like strengthening the outside without strengthening like your mental or emotional intelligence. And so they do things like, say, go to the gym, eat right, make more money, and they talk about that, but then they use that in those like online spaces to continue to say, hey, look, I made this amount of money this month. I have these gains, and it's something that feeds into like the success of being this way. And it continues, like having that echo chamber amplifies that entire premise. So I think you're spot on. Thank you, Brittany. Mary, I want to come to you. Mary.
Yes, sir.
I want to understand. I know that when it comes to like how things shift from from online to offline, a lot of time there's a disconnect, right? I say this all the time. People see things that are online and it's not really reality. The question I have for you is, have you seen people act the way that they act online, offline? Because it seems like there's more people willing to be the worst versions of themselves online, but is that something that you're really seeing in real life? Or is it just that, we're all online too much and we need to get outside and touch grass?
That's a really good question. And to be honest, I think the answer is I've seen both. I've seen, I have friends who have kids and they'll just hand the tablet off to the kid and the kid's sitting there playing on the tablet. And it's like, maybe the kid should be outside playing for a little bit. No, he's fine on the tablet. Oh, okay. So I know, there's that, but then there's also, situations where I've met people through, I hope this is okay to say, I've met people through AA meetings on Zoom, and, then that person and I will become friends and we'll have a personal one-on-one conversation, and they're the exact same person as they are through a meeting with me one-on-one as they are in the group setting. But then I've also had that reverse where I've had people who, in the Zoom meeting, they're one person, and then, you go and find out that they're a completely different person, and they're breaking your anonymity and they're breaking your, they're breaking the rules of what should be. And it's kind of like, it's kind of something that gives you a
sense of like being lied to.
Yes.
Am I? Yeah. I've experienced that as well. Like when you think that, these online personas are super interesting. And I try to tell people this all the time. That's why, like, even me, I know a lot of people online, and I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of these people or interact with these people offline. And I always say, like, you can tell who I actually like or whatever by the way that I actually interact with them. Yeah. Because if I have the opportunity to interact with these people and I find that they're not how they were online versus offline, a lot of this is created, but I think it's so important to have consistency and also be who you are, no matter if you're online or offline. Right. And I know that has to be jarring to actually experience, like, you think that you know someone and you meet them in person and they're completely different.
It's so, like, disheartening because it's when you're in that kind of a setting where, you're supposed to be able to be trusting of these people and you're supposed to be, giving them your trust. And it's, the whole concept of, the recovery aspect is, well, you're supposed to trust us. You're supposed to give us your 100%, but I don't know you like that, but I'm supposed to trust you. And yet that's fine. But meanwhile, your deepest, darkest secrets are then being shared to somebody else who you didn't give permission to hear what you just shared.
No,
and
listen.
So that's like a slap in the face. And it's a whole part of, the recovery outlook is that you're not supposed to repeat what's heard and said in meetings. And so it's like, but then they turn around and if you're not happy online, then you can go to and it's like,
yeah,
what?
no,
So
no,
they can do
listen,
the
Mary,
same
I
thing.
completely agree. And having that set of boundaries, I say this all the time, like, consent is important, and meeting someone, online versus offline is one thing, but confiding in someone who is, like, unwilling to actually respect that confidentiality, that's a whole nother thing. But all right, perfect. 1 second here, Mary.
I do want to just quickly say, I do have one person that I met through a meeting, and she and I have been, super close and have been able to share things for well over 2 years now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And finding those people is super important.
Yeah.
All right, 1 second here. All right. So Carl, I want to wait, Carl or Kyle? Kyle. All right, Kyle. I want to come to you, and I kind of want to I kind of want to double back around and get your perspective, kind of on the same thing, but in the different vein, right? In a sense of like, I don't know if you've experienced this, but it seems like we live in a day and age where there's a lot of internet tough guys. There's a lot of people who would say things online that they would never say in real life. And I feel like there's a sense of not only this being driven by that negative culture of like machismo, of alpha male, or whatever the case may be, but also the parasocial relationships and the ability to craft online personas versus what they or who they are offline. Do you think that's something more prevalent because people can now hide somewhat online? Or do you think that people are just more comfortable being who they really are?
Actually, I think it's definitely that the second one. I think being able to hide behind a mask allows them to like completely, truly like let them be who they are. It's like that. It's like what they how do they say it? Bruce Wayne isn't Batman. Batman is Bruce Wayne, or something like that. Yeah. So it's like the same thing, but it definitely works on the inverse with like negativity and stuff like that too.
Yeah. Is that something? Because I feel like that's newer. And I'm going to try to say this as politely as I can, and realizing that we're on the internet, so nothing will be whatever, and also two, this is late nights, but I say this quite often. I feel like too many people have gotten too comfortable with not getting slapped in the mouth, and it kind of shows that online. Like, people are way too comfortable with not having to deal with like real world consequences. Do you think that the fact that there's a lack of certain real world consequences gives people the extra bravado for them to actually do and say the things that they do and say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. See, I think the idea that we as like independent thinkers, like as humans, that we exist like in silos where our thoughts are only in our mind, and that's where they solely exist. That's no longer the case. Like with technology, like social media and stuff like that, our thoughts are shaped by the media and technology that we use, and vice versa. So, with the people that like they get on these like spaces and then like they do those trolls, or like they slur and they do all these mean things, they hide behind a mask, but because they don't experience the consequences online, it kind of like translates offline as well. So it's kind of like we're kind of like blurring the lines between what's online and what's offline. I honestly don't think offline and online exist anymore. I think it's just kind of like integrated now.
Yep. I hear you. All right. So I know there are a ton of people in the box right now. We have to start swapping people out. So this is what I'm going to do. Kyle and Mary, thank you both for coming back up this evening. I appreciate you from last night and tonight. I'm going to drop both of you down, and I'm going to start bringing new people in. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Santana. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Have a good night.
In the chat for both of them. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 150,000 likes. Also, look up at the top. If you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Hit that follow button. This is the main account. We're driving the main account to 100,000 followers. We're going to be doing more late nights on the main account. So if you enjoyed this type of content, make sure that you hit that follow button, turn on the notifications. If you ever want to join the panel, you need to know when we're live. So hit that follow button and get in a request. Also, if you enjoyed this type of space, you enjoyed this type of live, please consider supporting it. Your support is the way that we keep this going. So Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. If you're in the request, I'm going to start bringing new people in here just a moment. I want to go back around one more time to the people on the panel, and then I'm going to start swapping more people out, and we're going to get more people in. Brittany, coming back to you. Brittany, what do you think the long-term repercussions will be for what we're seeing today? Because I know there's fads and trends, and we've been through different eras and different things throughout like society. I remember like when Pokemon Go was a huge thing and everybody was crazy about Pokemon Go, but then there was a time where you couldn't walk around without hearing someone talking about Game of Thrones, right? It completely enthralled everyone. So it seems like our society goes through these ebbs and flows where there's certain things that completely encompasses everyone. And I hate to say it, but right now, it seems like everyone's encompassed by some form of toxic online presence. So do you think that this is something that's going to have a long-term impact on us as people in our society? Or do you think that this is somewhat of a phase and people are going to start pulling away from it and looking for more positive ways to interact?
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of a mix of both. I think we'll see that it'll get pulled away from, but I think that it's created some wounds that are going to leave scars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think some of the big scars that we're going to have to deal with over time are going to be that people are no longer as willing to just sit down and hear out another person's side. I remember 10, 15 years ago, even like whether you were right or left didn't matter. Most people were fairly willing to sit down and even if they didn't reach an understanding, they were much more willing to actually listen and debate and provide counterpoints. And we've created this system with this echo chamber process now where nobody's actually interested in listening, or at least most people aren't. All they're interested in is getting the chance to say why they're right. I think that's going to be the biggest long-term impact from it.
Yeah, no, listen, I think you're absolutely right. People don't listen to listen anymore. People listen to respond. Shout out to my wife. She taught me to listen. But I think that has become a thing where people are just waiting for their turn. People are waiting to interject. People are waiting because they feel like they need to be heard and they want to be heard. And I think that's a toxic trait for sure. And I do think that's something that's going to be long impacting. And it's going to be super interesting to see if we can actually get to a space where we're no longer talking at each other, but talking to each other again. But Brittany, thank you so much for coming up and hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Santana.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Jenny, what about you? Do you think that, because Brittany made a heck of a point, right? I remember a time as well where politics were quote unquote civil, and we didn't talk about who we voted for, and when not just in politics, but there was a level of respect that everyone treated with everyone. But now it seems like we've moved into a part of our society where people are more so worried about looking right than getting it right. People are more so worried about dunking on other people than teaching. People are more so worried about what can they get out of a situation versus how beneficial the situation is for everyone. Is this something that is going to take a while for us to grow and heal from? Is there a way for it at all, or what do we do?
To be honest, you're first of all, you're 100% correct. But what I think is that this is just the way politics is going to go at this particular moment, because
no, hold on.
I think
don't lock this just into politics. This is people now. This is the wild thing, right? The politics has bled into the people's personality. The most. I was talking to someone earlier today, and he does an actual debate live, right? But it has nothing to do with politics, nothing. And he had someone up, and the first thing the person said was, 51 Georgia Trump. And he was like, what are you talking about? That entire aspect has like completely engulfed people in as a society.
Okay. No, I totally get. Okay. All right. Let me just recalibrate here for a second. So, no, first of all, you're absolutely correct, as you always are, Santana. How dare
I don't know
you?
about always.
Well, listen,
I'm wrong
most of the time I listen to you, you're right a lot. Okay, let's just say that. But no, it's actually something that I've been kind of following for a while. You're correct in that not just politics, but society is following this kind of. All right, the best way I can kind of explain it is, okay, so I am a part of the exennial generation where I grew up without the internet for like the first half of my life and grew up with it. So you kind of had to evolve very quickly, right? And I think that that is kind of what society is doing as well. Not just society, but the way that we behave with everything when it comes to politics, the way we talk to each other, everything kind of like this. So like, it's a weird kind of combination of the internet, but also we're still trying to hold on to our humanity, if that makes any sense. But also, the one thing that does kind of terrify me about that is that how our, what do you call it? Our attention is so, like, even like, how long ago did it happen that, okay, and I don't really want to, stray too far, but how long ago was it that Alex Preddy happened? And
it was
we're
like
already
less than 2 months, about a month or so ago. Yeah, for sure.
right, and that's what I'm saying. And we're already onto so many other different things, but I think that is also partially because that's the way that, unfortunately, the media and the way that the Trump administration has also been controlling everything when it comes to the media is how it needs, how they want it to happen. So basically, yes, everyone's upset, everyone's mad, blah, 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 and then it's on to something else.
Yeah, I do think that one impact that has happened on our society, which like I hope the algorithm doesn't smite me for this, but like TikTok culture, right? The scrolling, the short attention span that we have has harmed us as well, where a lot of people are pushing past things that happen, and people don't really necessarily like take the time to digest things anymore. And I think that is absolutely a negative impact. And even more so, I think that's going to be something that is harmful to us in the long run, as far as like being able, because some of the issues that we're dealing with, and I'm not talking about politics, I'm talking about society. The issues that we're dealing with today are long-term issues, and it's going to take people who have the attention span, the time, the energy, and effort to put in the real hard work to fix these things. And it's not going to be a quick fix. It's not going to be a minute and 6-second video on TikTok on how to fix things. It's going to take people really taking the time and putting in the work. And the tough part is going to be, do we have enough people to do that? But Jenny, thank you so much for coming up. I really, really appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down and swap you out, okay?
All right. Thank you so much for having me up, Santana.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you more. Also, I just looked down and I looked to see who was looking. W's in the chat for Mama Jones. What up, lady? What are you doing up? W's in the chat. Chewy, all right, coming to you. Chewy, you have a different responsibility, and I know I talked about it a little bit earlier, but like you're in a position that is rare for a lot of us. You're in a position to actually wield political power, to actually change things. Chewy, I guess the only thing that I would really have for you as far as like this online community, these parasocial, activities, the things that are occurring, as someone who is stepping up and meeting the charge head on, how do you actually ensure that we start to heal as a society and we're able to get past where we are today and somehow figure out a way to come together as people again? Because I think the problem is that a lot of people don't look at each other as people anymore. I once heard Itchy say that people don't want to raise other people's kids. People don't care if other people's kids eat. They care if their kids eat. They want to raise their kids, but they don't care about other people's kids. How do we, at the very least, get people to start caring about other people's kids?
That is one of the ultimate questions, and one of the things I'm struggling with, because for me, I thought that was basic humanity. Mm-hmm. And when I start talking about things like, guaranteeing access to, say things like SNAP benefits, money for food banks and things like that, and people are like, oh, that's pork. And I literally had this with a family member, and they said that, and it was like a gut punch to me, because I've known this person, and I'm like, that is not the person I've known for years. Like, how has this gotten so twisted and convoluted that you're so far away from your humanity? And that is something I think we need to address head on, especially as politicians or people interested in politics and at that discourse where and part of it, I will also blame on the left. We use the PC language where, for example, food insecurity. Food insecurity means nothing to someone. When you say someone's hungry, someone's starving, that gets a visceral reaction. That gets you to actually understand, because people understand hunger. They don't understand food insecurity. And I think we need to reframe the conversations and bring people back and say, this isn't a left thing, a right thing. It's a humanity thing. And if we're going to sell our humanity, what are we at that point? What are we as a country? What are we as a people? And we need to address these things, because otherwise we have nothing.
Yeah. Chewy, I'm just going to say, I don't envy you, but I respect you, because you're doing something that a lot of people only talk about. That's why, and I truly mean this is just me to you. Whatever I can do to help, I'm willing to help, because what you're doing is so important. But as soon as you figure out whatever you need me to say, I'll say it. And Chewy, thank you so much for coming up. You know how much I appreciate you, and especially because you've always been a part of Late Night. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining the panel this evening.
Yeah, thank you. And the biggest thing is giving a voice. And that's Absolutely. Why I love doing the late nights so much, is it gives so many people a voice. And that's what I want to do as a politician, is give people a voice.
Absolutely. Guys, follow Chewy. He's running for office, and we're going to throw our support behind him. He's a good guy, and we need more people like him. So make sure you guys give him a follow. Thank you, Chewy. All right. Really quick, guys. W's in the chat for Renegade, who sent a $5 super chat to say, my biggest negative experience in the online community was in a leftist space, which is making me reflect on how you say the left tends to eat their own. They do. I'm telling you, it's so weird. It's so weird. W's in the chat for Renegade. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. Again, if anyone would like to support the live, if you enjoy what we do here on Late Nights, if you want to keep it going, the best way to do so is by supporting. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. Keep tapping the screen. Let's get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Also, look up at the top. See the word follow. You're not following me? Hit that follow button. We're driving to 100,000 followers. We're going to be doing more late nights on this account, on the main account. So make sure you are following this account. Make sure you turn those notifications on, and do all the good things. Also, can we knock out the high bears, please? Hi, Bears. Can we knock those out? Again, I am getting more new people in. So if you are in the request, I promise you I'm trying to get to you as quickly as possible. Swan, I'm coming back to you. You still hanging out though, right? What do you got going on?
Of course. Yep,
Okay.
I'm still hanging out.
So this is what I'm gonna do. So to free up another box and we get more people in, because I want you to stay, but I'm gonna leave. Can you, after I come to you, can you drop and then you come back up and take that box right there? Or actually do that for me really quick, and I'm gonna just introduce everybody. All right. Oh, Angie, coming to you. Angie, understanding how different things are occurring within our society, right? And literally, it seems like we're a little bit rudderless, and it seems like things, I hate to say this, but I'm just gonna be real. Things seem to be getting worse at times. How do we ensure that we're looking out for each other and not becoming so jaded by what's happening that we don't just say, well, I can't worry about the people next to me. I have to only worry about me? Because if we don't worry about those people next to us, then they're going to find someone who is, again, just going to bring them into that fold of negativity. So how do we keep ourselves from becoming jaded so we don't turn away others that actually need us?
I absolutely believe that. I tell my children, you cannot control what people do, but you can control how you react.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very important. Because we can't. Some people do things and your jaw drops and it's like, whoa, who are you right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's been very, very sad seeing things change so much in society. Racially, especially. It's just been, it does make me sad.
Yeah.
I do like to be in spaces that I enjoy and that I'm learning from. I was in Dan Trail's, I think it was yesterday. Man, those guys are so funny. I don't have much in common with them, but they interest me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that that's the thing about finding people that you can actually engage with, right? The one thing that I appreciate about like my music and my friends and the people that I interact with is that I am a firm believer in being a collective, being able to learn from other people and grow from other people and experience new things with other people. I'm not someone who likes to be around someone who's just like me, because like what I'm already here. Why do I need another me? So I think you're right? Finding those things that you can appreciate about other people that are different from you, but make them special. I think that's a great way of always making sure that we are not becoming recluse and not becoming jaded and closed off. Because if you can see something special in someone else, then there's no way you can turn away from them. So I think you're spot on with that, Angie. But anyway, thank you so much for coming.
That are different.
Absolutely. But thank you for coming up, Angie. And I really appreciate you. I'm going to swap you out, okay?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Let's introduce some new people really quick. Noah, how are you?
I'm doing all right, Santana. How are you?
Wonderful. Okay, Noah. So we're gonna switch up the question a little bit because we want to streamline it, get the new people introduced, and get right into the conversation. But Noah, online spaces, good, bad, or why?
I don't think that online spaces are inherently good or bad. I think they definitely have their benefits and their drawbacks, but I don't think either one, at least like in my experience, I don't think either one really outweighs the other. I feel like I've had a lot of really good experiences in online. I always get so nervous when I get up here. Sorry if I'm like
You're good.
if I sound shaky.
You're good.
I've had a lot of really good experiences online. I'm a musician, so like online communities have been really beneficial for that. And then like, being a queer person in a red state, like online communities have their pros, but they also have their cons. So that's kind of my stance on that, I guess.
Okay. All right. Perfect. 1 second here. Line in the game. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Sorry,
Good.
I'm actually German, so
Wiedersehen. All good. Line in the game. Online spaces, good, bad, or good or bad, and why? Sorry.
I think it depends on the people in the community. Like I had some really, really bad experiences, but also very good ones. So I wouldn't just say they are inherently bad or good, but depend on the people inside.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that's an interesting perspective, and I'm glad that you're saying that. I'm actually glad that you guys are moving in that direction. Perfect. 1 second here. Is it Rye Lighthouse or I'm just going to call you Lighthouse. Lighthouse, how are you?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing pretty good.
Good. All right. Online spaces, good or bad, and why?
Oh, online spaces are tough. Like the other guest said, I can't remember who said this, but I'm also queer, and navigating online spaces, it's always like a minefield. And I'm sure it's pretty similar, with any marginalized community, but you always got to like test the waters and be like, okay, this community is leftist, or they say they're leftist, or they're fighting for these things that I align on, but then you realize, oh, you're transphobic, and it's just really complicated.
Okay. Yeah, that has to freaking suck. Absolutely. Okay, perfect. 1 second here. Legendary, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. Legendary, online spaces, good or bad, and why?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be a broken record, but I feel like what everybody else has said is pretty accurate.
Okay.
I've seen both. I have a good friend at work that we both watch TikTok, and we both did like that kind of community over the last like year, and during like his algorithm turned him a different way than me, and it's just been a crazy like experience, because like I would say we were best friends, and then it just kind of split us, and I feel like that had a big part of it, because he just doesn't see the same things I see, and it's just a weird dynamic.
Yeah. I can definitely understand that, especially when things like that actually push people apart. All right, perfect. 1 second, Lauren, how are you? Lauren?
Yeah, hey, trying to unmute.
No worries.
Sorry, I'm a little slow on that.
All good. Online communities, good or bad, and why?
I enjoy TikTok, particularly your live and some of the other contact creators that you align with. And to me, it's funny because your intro says there's no safe place. It's not your safe place. But
for scarring, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. But to me, your live is kind of a safe place to me, because I align with your views and I enjoy that. But I have gone into other spaces where they're not so friendly. They are not safe spaces, and they're a little bit rough. And also, in the real world, I don't have, for the most part, we don't talk politics. It's not a political space. It's, you know, you have your work and you don't talk politics, and some of the people that you're at work with may align with your politics, but you're not going to talk about politics because you're at work. And so, you know, you come online and it's a different thing. You can find places where you can discuss, you know, like when I'm at your live and you're doing debates, yes, you're not inviting friendlies up, but I'm listening and I'm learning and I'm agreeing with I'm aligning with your point of view. And there are others. I mean, I ventured into some MAGA spaces trying.
Hold on, because I don't want to get too far down the road, because I do have somewhere I want us to go, and I kind of feel like you may be going close to that anyway, but I do want to get through the introductions. Hold that thought. Don't go too far, okay?
Okay.
All right. Perfect. Let me grab one more person, since the person that was here dropped. I'm trying to grab people from the bottom that have been waiting, but sometimes it times out. So let's see here. Oh, you wasn't trying to get up on the panel? Oh, I wish I would have known. I would have kept you. Nerdy, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Nerdy, online spaces, good or bad, and why?
I think it depends on the people that you surround yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
If you think that, I mean, because it's kind of hard to know if you're in a toxic space if you are like-minded like the other people. Does that make sense?
Yep. It absolutely does. And, you know, listening to you all, it made me think of something. And I actually got something that I think would be really fun if we do. And even the people in the chat, you guys can kind of play along with this. So I'm going to come around the panel, and I want everybody to think about this. And I have one quick thing that I have to say, and then I'm going to come around the panel. I want everyone to think about this for a second. Since everyone has been in online spaces and everyone has seen positive and negative aspects of online spaces, and outside of Swan, I know for a fact, a lot of people have not had the ability to build their own spaces, right? They haven't been able to build their own communities. But we've been a part of communities. We've seen good, we've seen bad. We've seen some communities that we thought were good, and it turned out to be bad. I know personally myself, I've been a part of a couple of communities where I just thought we were going to set the world on fire and just change everything, only to fall flat on our face. And I think back and I'm like, well, if I would have had more of a hand in this, or if I would have been able to do this, or I would have been able to do that, I want to come around the panel and find out if you guys could actually build your own communities, right? If you want to, because you guys mentioned like, joining the community and finding out that they're transphobic, or they don't, like queer people, or whatever the case may be. If you could build your own community, what would that look like? What would you have? Who would you have? What would be your purpose? Like, what's the driving factor if you could actually build a community? Hold on to that for 2 seconds. Massive W's in the chat for Heather. Heather sent a $5 donation saying, genuinely appreciate the knowledge I get from your lives. Well, Heather, thank you so much for that. I don't know how much knowledge you're getting from me. I'm just up here yapping, but I really appreciate the love and support and the fact that you're enjoying the live and you're here. Thank you so much, Heather. W's in the chat for Robin. Robin sent a $20 donation saying, we aren't born with fixed meaning. We become who we are through choices. Freedom is scary, so we slip into bad faith, hiding behind those roles and excuses. Online/global life reduces people to profiles and tribes, making it easier to treat them like objects and not humans. Holy smokes. W's in the chat for Robin. W's in the chat for Robin. W's in the chat for Irene for the $20 donation saying, Irene, I see what you said. I won't read it out loud, but I genuinely Thank you for noticing. I put a lot of pride, time, energy, and effort into it. So thank you for that. That actually meant a ton to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. W's in the chat for Irene. W's in the chat for the donors. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. All right, we're going to go around the panel and I want to hear it. Thinking about the communities that you guys have been in and the negative aspects of any good community that has been torn apart. I want to hear it. One major thing that if you could say, I'm going to build a community and this is going to be the bedrock of my community. What is it? Swan, I'm putting you on the hot seat. You got to go first. You're building a community. What are we leading with?
We're leading with understanding the importance of rejecting white supremacy and everything that falls underneath the umbrella of white supremacy.
Why?
I think that's because I would argue, sorry, I would argue that is the essentially when you look at all oppressive systems, they all work together to uphold white supremacy, including like capitalism and patriarchy and all of those things. And I think that's the thing that needs to be demolished. It's crucial, right? And I think that I would also make sure my community has an understanding of centering those that are the most marginalized, right? If you can fix the problems and eradicate the things that that the most marginalized community is dealing with, everybody wins, right? And I guess an example of how to help people understand this is like something like DEIA, right? I think implementing DEIA benefited everyone in the aspect that because it was something that was implemented to mitigate discrimination, you saw that when it was implemented correctly and effectively, that the entire workplace improved. Everything got better for everyone. Not saying that we were where we needed to be, because we're not there yet at all. I think we've, definitely gone backwards in some aspects of certain things, but I think that that's the most important thing, is that we would have to really reject white supremacy. All actions that we take going forward would be rooted in that, but also understanding the importance of centering those that are the most marginalized and understanding what that looks like globally as well, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Okay. All right. That's Swan's community. That's what Swan is leading with. Dr. Steele, I apologize. I didn't get to say welcome, but welcome back to the panel. Long time. How are you?
Yeah. Hi. How are you?
Good, good, good. All right. I'm throwing you right in the fire because I know you can do it. Dr. Steele, you're building a community. We're all joining. What are you leading with? What's the mission statement of your community?
Right. So I really have a very simple purpose, which is to decolonize healthcare. Our healthcare system is failing Black, Brown, and Indigenous people. I witnessed the inefficiencies, and I had a family practice in Virginia for 15 years, and during the vid and all of that. And I saw the mismanagement of policy, and I saw how lack of access and public health misinformation was running rampant, specifically in our communities. So I did some traveling. I traveled the world. I left the country and I closed my practice really with this intention of understanding what was missing. So I went back for my MBA, and I specifically studied healthcare, right? And I've studied it from all different angles. And it's funny you mentioned online communities, because that was one of the things we looked at, because there's so much misinformation and polarization on both sides. We've lost curiosity when it comes to health. And the allopathic community is very rigid and reductionist and very far from our original system. And then you have the quote unquote holistic community, which is just riddled with colonizers and grifters and, people that have not spent the years of study and discipline to structure. So I knew that in building a community, I had a few different things. We have a lack of providership. So I needed to create education infrastructure. I knew that there was access issues in terms of affordability, so providing affordability, but also too, I knew what was coming in terms of public health. And, people are going to lose access to their doctor. And so I started studying remote patient monitoring, and I use that in my practice. And that is I can pretty much track anyone's data, over 350 data points anywhere in the world. And what that does is it brings the doctor's office to the patient. And so my community is very dynamic in the sense that it serves so many different needs, right? It serves the needs of people that, want to live a healthier life and want to prevent, but also who have been wounded by the conventional medical system. In my practice, I didn't realize it at the time, but, I became like this refuge, it's like the cleanup crew of medicine. And
Right.
so it was exhausting. And so my community, just in a nutshell, is really designed to educate people and decolonize healthcare. And I think lastly, I'll land with this, is that the balance is also, as a founder and as a pioneer, is not, losing yourself in the process. We look at all of these really big pioneers and, what happens? They get sick, they, have all this wealth and they lose themselves. And that was something that was really intricate for me, is really being very focused and really being very deliberate and being very conscious in all of my decision making, which is why I've rolled mine out really slow and really intentionally.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that's like the thing that I always appreciate is when someone has purpose, right, and they're able to drive towards their purpose, and that's what I'm hearing in that. That's freaking awesome. Okay, all right, 1 second here, Noah. What about you? What's going to be at the forefront of the community that you're building? What do we got?
So I think if I had a little more time, I could probably form a more coherent thought on it. But first things that come to mind would be like, making the arts a priority, uplifting marginalized communities, whether that be queer folks, people of color, any marginalized groups. And I had another point that I thought up, but it has escaped me. So those are going to be the big ones, I think. Specifically for me, like a focus on like uplifting trans voices, because that's what I resonate with. Yeah. Listen, it's always what's important to you, and the interesting thing about that is like advocating for other people always is something that not only is admirable, but when you can center that and make it the bedrock of like what you do and who you are as a community, it's always going to be successful. Perfect. Yeah. And right. Sorry. Oh, I was just saying I am in the process of, trying to build a community, as a musician, building and following online, whether that be like an online or in-person community. And those are the things that I kind of try to keep in the forefront of my mind whenever I'm working on building that community in my local scene. Absolutely. All right, perfect. 1 second. Line in the game. You are starting an online community. You got everybody ready to join. What are you leading with?
I think if I would build one, and I'm actually trying, I would focus on respect, that we respect that everyone has different opinions and beliefs, political beliefs too, but that at the end of the day, we all have the same red in our veins, so we're all the same, and to respect that. But I'm actually not too sure how I would actually do that because, to explain a bit, I really love history, and the communities I try to join, they very, very quickly went down a very wrong way. Just saying Germany and history.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to find a way to offer the opportunity to just share knowledge with each other without having the constant fight between but I'm right, you're wrong. I think that's very difficult because no one is the same from the thought perspective. But I don't know if it makes sense. I'm sorry.
No. It makes
Germany,
sense to me.
so I'm a bit loopy, but
no. It makes perfect sense to me, and even more so. Like, I mean, keep being really honest with you. Like, I really wish more people in the U.S. knew more about German history. And like that would be awesome. But like, no, I absolutely get it. Kindness is absolutely the way to go. All right, 1 second here. I know I'm gonna mess up. Is that Nerdless? How do I say your username?
My name is Nautilus, but
Nautilus.
I also go by Persephone.
Persephone. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta write that down. Where's my pen?
Seth is easy.
I can remember Seth. I can remember that.
I know you can.
I can remember.
I know you can.
All right, Seth. Welcome in. You are in the middle of it now. You get to build a community, and you get to decide how you are going to create this community. What is the thing at the forefront of your community?
Togetherness. Ultimately, the idea that in some way you can always relate to another person. It can come down to even the most minute thing, but in some way you have a connection to another person, regardless of who they are, regardless of their background. So ultimately, we all have some way that we connect to each other as people, and that is what we should ultimately sit upon.
Okay. Perfect. All right, perfect. Thank you. One moment. Legendary, coming to you. What about you? You are building a community. What's numero uno?
I mean, I think just diversity. I extremely dislike having an echo chamber. I just feel like it has a more easier path to go down the wrong way. You can't be pulled back to like reality in some senses.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, diversity for me.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Let's see. Lauren, coming to you. What's going to be the focus of the community if you could start a community?
I think that I've already started to have my community on TikTok, which is you and Dean and Parker and B and Mandy and Hector and Erica. And oh man, there's so many. There's so many.
Right. No, Lauren, this is your community. This isn't other people. You get to build a community, and you get to dictate to the community what's the primary focus, the most important thing in the community that you're building and others are joining. What's that thing?
I mean, I'm saying that the community that build is the ones that would be the ones where I'm feeling like I have a community with theaters that I just mentioned, and there's many more that I feel like those are a part of the community that I would want to have. I don't know how I would build a separate community.
No, it's not about building a separate community. What's important to you? What's the most important thing in the community? You name all these communities. I'm sure there's like many things that you enjoy about these communities, but what would you say like is the number one thing that you enjoy the most, that you think is the most important thing about these communities?
Compassion.
Okay. Perfect. All right, 1 second. Nerdy, what about you? Last but not least, you get the opportunity to start your own community. Listen, I'm signing up. I'm the first person. I'm right there in line. Sell me. What's that thing?
Damn, I'm winning already. I'm just kidding. I like going last because it gives me time to actually think about it. But like I think about this constantly. Like, if I were to build my own community, how would I do it? Who would I invite? Because as somebody who has always felt like a social outcast, like somebody that, you know, is a nerd, and I don't know if anybody's ever come at it like from this perspective, but like has like a punk ideology. You know, my delusional self thinks I'm a punk, and nobody can tell me otherwise. But I would invite people who feel the same way, you know, the freaks, the geeks, the people that don't feel like they belong, like digital nomads of the certain types, because those are some of the best people I've ever met in real life. You know, I used to play roller derby when I lived in California, and a lot of the women that and I met a few trans women playing roller derby, and being in that community has helped me have a greater perspective of you're not alone, even if you feel like that. I hope that makes sense.
It does. Inclusiveness. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yes.
Having an open arm for community. Okay. All right. So everyone just went through and told me things that you guys would make like the bedrock of your own communities. It's the things that you guys said is like the things that you would lead with. I want everyone to do this for me. We're going to play a little game, and you guys in the chat, I want you guys to play with me. So I want everybody on the panel, everybody come off mute right now. Everybody off mute.
Off mute.
Perfect. Now chat, this is for you as well. For the people on the panel, go back on mute if this does not apply to you. And chat, put a 2 in the comments if it does not apply to you. Are you a part of a community? If you're not a part of a community, any online community, go back on mute. If you're in the chat and you're not a part of any online community, put a 2 in the chat. All right. So Dr. Still is the only one on the panel, not a part of any online community. Got it. We got a few people in the chat, not a part of any online communities. Okay. Next question. For the people on the panel, go back on mute. If the thing that you said would be the leading thing is not important to you. And for the people in the comments, put a 3 in the comments if you don't have something in your community that's important to you. All right. So Nerdy went back on mute and Legendary went back on you. So the things that you said is not important to you. It's not important. You don't care about it.
No.
Okay. Wait, so you don't care about it?
I think I'm misunderstanding the question. I'm sorry.
Go back on mute if the thing that you said that you would lead with, meaning you just said that, like, yeah, I want this thing, and now you're saying you actually don't care about that thing. Okay, perfect. You're still on mute. Okay, everybody. Okay, there might have been some confusion. Okay, so we still have everybody. Got it. Maybe I'm just wording stuff funny. All right. So the things that you guys said, you actually care about those things. All right. Perfect. Now, last but not least, it's me. Last but not least, go on mute and put a 1 in the chat if you have made sure that the thing that you have talked about, that you just said is important to you, is something that's happening in the community that you belong to. Go back on mute if you have made sure the thing that you just talked about, even though you said that you're in a community, you said this is important. Now go back on mute if you're already making sure that that thing is happening in that community that you belong to. If you're not, go on mute. So Lauren, Legendary.
Wait, go on mute.
I'm sorry, go on mute if you're making it happen.
Okay.
Stay off mute if you're not.
Oh, say that one more.
I just confused myself.
Yeah.
Never mind. Hold on. Okay, everybody stop talking, including me.
I'm confused.
Okay. I got this. I know how to ask questions. All right. Let me try it one more time. If you are currently doing the thing that you said that is important, if you are currently doing the thing that you said that is important, and you're doing it in the community, then I want you to stay off mute. If you're not doing the thing that you're saying that's important, then go on mute. I confused myself for a second. I'm sorry.
I think I get what you're trying, where you're going.
I got you.
If you're making it happen, I want you off mute. If you're not making it happen, go on mute. If you are, I said that the most important thing in my community is for us to read books, and I'm making people read books, so I'm going to be off mute. But if I'm not making people read books, then I'm going to mute myself. I confused myself. All right.
I do that on a daily.
Okay. So everyone that's currently off mute in your community, you're making sure that the thing that's important to you is done in the current community that you're in, right?
What if you're not a part of the community?
Right.
Then you should have already been on mute.
I was.
This was like an elimination. God dang it, you guys messed up the game. All right.
Well,
the point that I was trying to get to, listen, I'm gonna practice this in the mirror. Like, okay, maybe I shouldn't try to make games up on the fly. Maybe I'm not the best in making games. But the point that I wanted to get to is, if we know that there's certain things that are important to us and we want those things to be present in like our ideal community, are we currently advocating for those positive things in the communities that we're already in?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Is anyone not?
I'm not.
Why?
So again, I'm really coming from a perspective of a founder and a pioneer. And I'm up against a lot of superiority bias, confirmation bias. Healthcare is a very touchy issue for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's always been, and I mean, I've had a really successful career just living and being myself.
Mm-hmm.
And people come to me. So I've never had a need to go out because people find me.
Okay. Who else said that they're not currently doing the thing?
Does it count if you're not technically a part of a community, but you're kind of like by yourself?
Why haven't you found a community then? Why are you not a part of a community?
That's a good question. I see it as I've never really been a joiner. Like, I'm a follower of people on TikTok and social media, but I'm not no, let me rephrase that. I'm a supporter, but I'm not a follower. And a lot of people tend to not like that if I disagree with somebody, because I don't think anybody 100% agrees with anybody. Like, even if you guys are best friends, I'm pretty sure you and your wife don't agree on everything all the time. I tend to say things. If I see something wrong, I tend to point it out, and people tend to not like that.
Why aren't we finding better ways to communicate then? Because if it's important, then we should find a way to get it across to the people so they can get it, right?
I agree. And that's why I'm in therapy. Therapy.
W's you. Line in the line. It was a line in the game. I'm sure I confused you even more. But I'll try. Are you currently doing the thing that you said was important in your community?
I wouldn't say do it, but trying it.
Tell me about it.
As I said, I love history, and it's a, let's say, touchy subject. And it gets really, really bad really fast.
Yeah.
If you try to advocate for what I want in a community, because as I said, I want respect between the people in a community, and well, history and respect never really got along, and the people inside those communities I'm in are difficult. And yeah.
Have you made any friends, like, within that community?
Yes and no. I found people that are just as annoyed with how things are going as me. But to be honest, it's pretty difficult to get out of those communities again, because, well, America is going right and Germany is following again. And I actually live in a district that votes far right at everything. So I literally have the people in those communities as my neighbors. So getting out is a bit difficult and scary. But we actually are trying to make our own Discord server. The few people I found, but it's a difficult area, because if you start with history, you automatically go to politics.
Yeah.
And you know how touchy that subject is.
Yeah.
So,
let me say this. One thing I appreciate so much about, like, the people who have been here with me and have literally shaped me and this live and what we do here is at times we like mind melt, right? And so as I'm sitting here listening, the first thing I was about to say is, I want you to come and be a part of our community. Like, that's what I was just about to say to you.
Really?
And then I get a message come across my screen from my Discord, and Kay says, I'm sending her an invite to our Discord. So I wanted to put the emphasis on people as far as, like, doing the things that they say that's important. Like, I think us taking responsibility and taking action and actually pushing these things the way that, like, we understand what's right. We understand those positive aspects that we look for. And so if we want those positive aspects, then we have to drive those positive aspects. But listening to you, it sounds like just a completely different, scenario, different situation. And the one thing that I wouldn't want, I know Kay wouldn't want, I know our community wouldn't want, is for you to feel alone or feel like you are in a situation where you're fighting uphill without any type of support. So it would be an honor if you could join our Discord, and maybe we can help you out.
And I feel honored to be invited because
let's go. Let's go.
You actually helped a lot. Yeah. You, Dean, and Parker, actually.
Awesome. Well, Kay's gonna send you a message, and we're gonna get you in the Discord, and we're gonna see what we can do to help you out. Because I'm gonna put the pressure on everybody else, but it feels like your situation's a little bit different, and I want to help whatever way we can figure it out. So we'll do it.
Thank you.
All right, Legendary. What about you? Why have you not done the thing that you think is important in your community?
Well, I mean, I guess there could be two sides to answer that, obviously, but I haven't really created my own, like you asked about before. So
no, not in your own, but in the current community that you're in.
Yeah, I know, but so like the communities I'd say that I'd be in would be like, I mean, I guess what my mind went to was like fantasy football communities, or like I've started to get into like the 3D printing communities because I got one. And I guess the way that I do follow my like logic is like, if I start to see something that I'm not comfortable with, I just leave and find a new one. And I guess that's how I kind of follow my I guess rules or the rules of diversity, because I don't want, like I said, I don't want to go into a space where it just like I disagree with everybody's view on a certain thing, and I hate when
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why leave?
Man,
think about this. Wait, think about this. If it was so important for you to start, if it was so important, or if you, at the very least, if you enjoyed it, why not try to at least push the limit and push it towards more of a positive thing, something that's more diverse, something that's more inclusive, more aligned with the way that you think and feel? Because like the way that I look at it is like somebody has to start. Like being the first person is always going to be scary. It's always going to be hard, and it's always going to suck. But at some point, someone has to do it. And like if you even if you just like these things, then why let someone run you off? Why not like say like, hey, you guys need to actually do this as well?
Well, I think that what I'm referring to in those senses, like it's different on this app rather than on like Facebook, I guess I would say, because I guess I'm more in those groups on Facebook, and that has a more like right-leaning mentality to it, I guess. I don't know. It just feels like it's a losing battle on some of those fronts. And like, I was talking with my wife about this the other day with all the like stuff that's going on around the world. Sometimes I just need a win. And in those senses, like I have started to like chime in and clap back at people, but it just seems like it's a losing battle. And I pour a lot of like emotion and empathy into these things, and it's just like, I don't know if I want to say a waste of time, but I feel like I just haven't moved anything.
Yeah. I'll say this. As someone who slams his head against a wall every day and says, hey, this person you support sucks. This person that you support sucks. This person that you support sucks. I know what you mean. And I don't even blame you. I'm not blaming you. I'm not faulting you. I will just say that if you need help figuring out how to fight, let me know. Okay?
Oh, you guys, like, I watch you probably every day.
Awesome.
So you have help. Trust me.
Okay. All right. Listen, and this is for the people in the chat. For the people that aren't up here right now, somebody has to start it. Somebody has to start it, especially if it's important, right? And especially if it's something like leading with kindness. Just take a moment to be kind to someone. If it's being inclusive, try to bring someone who wouldn't normally be in your community into your community. If it's, centering marginalized people, make sure you actually put a focus on marginalized people. Like, take the step. That's all I'm saying. If you're in the chat and you're listening, and especially if you're in a space that you think that may be worth it, and you see that it could be going one way or the other, just step up. I've learned that about like a couple of different spaces that I've been in. A lot of people only engage in those spaces because that's the way that other people engage. And as soon as someone does something different and is strong about them doing something different, then other people just fall in line and they do the different thing. So that's just a thought. Hold on a second. Who? Wait, like, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? I don't know. Do you have someone in mind already? What are we doing? Sorry, guys. I'm fighting with the back end. No pause. All of them? No, whatever. All of them? All right, I guess. Sure. Hey Swan, let me swap you for 2 seconds. You can come right back because I want you to come back up here. But come right back for me, okay?
Okay.
All right. I don't know about this, man. I guess, whatever. All right, get up here. You're not in the request, dude. There we go. All right, tell the people what we're doing.
I was in the request, dude.
You were.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, so for the rest of tonight and tomorrow, anyone who would like to join our community through our Discord needs to send me a DM on Discord at KAYSIOBHAN or a DM on TikTok. So if you're on YouTube and you have Discord, you would like to join our community, you can send a friend request if we don't have any shared servers. My @ on Discord is KAYSIOBHAN. That's pronounced K Sayobahan. Just kidding. And
you are a butthole.
Or you can send me a DM on TikTok. Couple caveats. Your profile cannot be private and everyone will be vetted before they're let in. But I
also,
will
somebody better send me a wire transfer. Anyway, go ahead.
Just today, just tomorrow, because we are talking about community and how we do it. And so everyone will be vetted before they're let in, because I'm not letting in anyone who's just hate watching. It's not happening. So tonight and tomorrow only, then we go back to our regular rules of members only and subscribers. But I can see a lot of comments tonight, and I can see a lot of conversation tonight. And the whole reason that Santana and I ever got together was because of community.
And grifting.
Absolutely. And capitalism. No, absolutely not capitalism. Down with capitalism. But one night, tomorrow night, tonight, 2 nights, sorry. Send a DM and we'll get you vetted, and then that's how it'll be. Because we don't want anyone without. And our community really is for everyone, and not all spaces are meant for everyone. But we do kind of do a little bit of everything for everyone. It's not just politics. So please join us if you feel like you need community. Because we want you to be part of one, and we want you to also grow with us.
Yup. If anyone missed the actual email, like Kay said, you can shoot her a DM. But also, if you go to the link, my link tree, her email is listed in my link tree as well. So if you go to any of my profiles and you click on the link tree, you can find her email in my link tree. So you can send the email from the link tree that I have as well. So not my email, because I won't read it, but her email is in my link tree as well.
Yeah, make sure it's the one that say Kay communicates. It just click that link and not the late night email or any of our other emails that are in there. And one day I'll put it in I'll make a link tree.
Yup.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great night. Stay safe.
All right. Thank you, Kate. All right. I'll say this because we're over time. But everyone on the panel, I want you guys to think about it, and I want you to take it with you, and I want you guys to come back tomorrow. Come back. And if you guys have a moment to start the live, I would like for us to talk about like how we can start working towards finding a way to lead our communities with those things that we said. I think that's really important. But for the people that's on the panel, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to drop you guys down, but come back tomorrow. All right? All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, guys. Where's Swan go? There we go. And then and this one. Okay. Where's Sean go? I saw Sean in here earlier. Did Sean leave? L's in the chat for Sean. Swan.
Yes.
How do we do this? Like, how do we ensure that, because people often talk about like things that are important, right? They talk about like, oh, like this is the most important thing to me, or at the very least they internalize it, but they don't always make sure that like it's happening, and you actually do the thing. And now I know it's a little bit different because you have your own community, right? That okay, fine. But no matter what space and place you're in, you're always leading with what you said, and you're always standing on that. So like, how do people get to that point?
I think the way I got to this point is re-education, just like understanding oppression, understanding what that looks like, understanding the importance of like intersectionality. I think that that's when I really came to the conclusion of, okay, this is exactly what it is that I want to do. And just like making sure I stay true to that. Cause again, I think I've seen some content creators who start out, very humble. They start off with really great intentions. And as time goes on, I think some people kind of lose sight of that. But for me, having like the educational understanding, and don't get me wrong, y'all, like there are so many more, like there's a lot more education that I need. That's a never ending journey. But I think once I take in the information, I'm gonna move based on what I know is reality and what I know is fact, if that makes sense. And I think if people approach things from that operate from the place of being re-educated and understanding, like, for example, what our material conditions are and what that looks like via statistics, like accurate information, then I think that makes it a lot easier for a person to remain focused. If you're just doing this because you want to be heard, or if you're just doing this because, you know, you want to, I don't know, there's just like a particular message that you want to get out there, but you're not necessarily like operating from a place where you truly understand what's happening, then it's going to be difficult for you, and you will lose your place, if that makes sense, or lose your way.
Yeah, yeah. I think that I think when people align like their purpose with like motivation and drive, then it's easier to lead with those things that you really want to accomplish. And I honestly, and this is just the outsider perspective, and like I see your passion, I see your motivation, and I also see the care, and that makes sense why you said that you will lead with that, but it also makes sense why you're able to do that. And maybe it's just that like more people need to identify their passion, because for me, I think it took like a really long time for me to actually find something that I'm passionate about. But I finally feel like I'm passionate about what I do now. But I think that's also a thing. I don't know, Swan. We're gonna figure it out together though, and like get people to start doing the things on an individual basis, so like we can all live in a better place collectively. That's what I'm thinking, Swan.
It's never ending, you know, like when a person starts their journey 5 years from now, we're going to be having a totally different conversation, and there's going to be information that I'm going to need to have. Like, for example, when we talk about like oppression and things like that, understanding the harm that AI technology brings to Black and Brown communities and impoverished communities, that's something that people who are deconstructing may not have considered before. Is like the technological aspect of oppression and how that impacts us. Or for example, Faisal talks a lot about digital nomads. These are people who are taking up spaces or like careers online, and then they're able to like benefit from that. And I mean, he can go into a lot more detail on this, but this is something new that I'm learning about, that I'm trying to understand, because it is something that is oppressive, and it does negatively impact those that are most marginalized, and it is something that definitely upholds white supremacy. And I think like a colonizing that's happening digitally, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I agree. Okay. All right. Really quick, couple of different things. First and foremost, I guess. Hey, Swan.
Yes.
You know who my wife is, right?
I think so. Yes.
Do you know who my wife is not?
Yes.
Who's not my wife?
Everybody but your wife.
That is a good answer. That's a good answer. Kay is not my wife. Apparently, I don't know what's happening in chat, but no, Kay is not management. I mean, like, yeah, she runs shit, but she's not management. Management is my wife. Kay is back end. No pause. But no, just I guess to clear it up really quickly. There's a difference between Kay and management. Just in case anyone was wondering. Two different people. There's that.
Now that I knew the difference between the two. Yes, that I knew.
Oh, my wife laughs so hard in the background. I just apparently, what's your wife's name? Why? That's why we call them management. Now you want to know her name?
Don't tell her. But I protect her at all times. Don't tell her.
Yeah, because she can't fight. I can fight, but she can't fight. So we got to be careful. And she's
It's okay. She got 5. We gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna hold them down and everybody gonna get their hits in.
Yeah, but she's scared of Toad too. I'm not. I got that fire on me. All right, a couple of quick W's. Couple of quick W's. Sorry, I gotta catch up. A lot of awesome people. W's in chat for Renegade for the $10 super chat to say, if I could build a dream community, it would be Veterans Voices. Okay. A place where vets and vet supporters, for vets and vet supporters to raise awareness for vet care and issues. Like, that is awesome. Actually, that is awesome and needed. And then W's in the chat for Renegade for the 5 said, I can't wait until you start bringing up people from YouTube. That's gonna be soon. I figured it out today. YouTube. I figured it out today. After I finished fumbling through everything, I figured out how to bring people up on YouTube. So, for all the people who are enjoying late nights on YouTube, you lovely people, you'll be able to join the conversation soon. But for all you crumb bum MAGA supporters that be yip yapping in the chat, don't duck this fade. Because you're going to have to run me them ones soon. Boom! I figured it out today. W's in the chat for my BBF. I'm not going to say that last part. For becoming a late night tuber. W's in the chat for Fisha, who sent a $5 super chat to say, happy first day of Ramadan. Gonna wish you good luck and support. Thank you so much. And happy first day of Ramadan to those people who actually are partaking, right? Ramadan is tough. Not tough like that, but yeah. Anyway, I don't go off that. W's in the chat. W's in the chat for Jared for the $1 donation. Said, I hope I'm doing what I feel is important in this community because you've inspired me to brainstorm a podcast You've inspired me. I'm brainstorming a podcast to start. Do it. The thing that I find interesting, Swan, like, I don't know if you've feel this as well. I never thought anyone would actually want to listen to anything that I have to say. And I always think it's weird anytime I flip on this camera or whatever and people actually show up and sit here and listen to me. That's super weird.
I agree. It's kind of nerve wracking sometimes. I don't know. I get a little nervous every time I go live.
Yeah. It's one, not gonna lie, I never think anyone's gonna show up, ever. I tell my wife this all the time. Anytime I hit that button to go live, I never expect anybody to come in. And then I see the first person, I'm like, oh, somebody actually showed up every single time. Swear.
Definitely understand that. I remember when I first started 12 people in, and we'd just be talking about my topics and stuff. And then it took a while to grow, but I think the benefit of the way that I went about this is that it's organic. It's not something that was bought and paid for. It's people that are really interested and invested in hearing what I have to say.
Yeah. And the only person I know for sure would be here every time, and not my wife and not Kay. The only person I know for a fact will be here every time is Dwayne. Sorry, everybody else, but I know for a fact Dwayne will be here. If nobody else show up, Dwayne show. It'd be me and Dwayne just talking to each other the entire time. That's the one person I can count on. W's in the chat for Gene for the $1 donation saying, if I started a community, my focus would be to make sure that everyone knows how to properly play games on TikTok lives without confusing panels. Whatever, dude. Whatever. And guys, massive W's in the chat for Jennifer. Jennifer sent a $25 donation. Living with the Louds. Is that your... I'm assuming, okay, that might be the username. Living with the Louds. Sent a $25 donation saying, here's your wire transfer. This live is great. Thank you so much, Living with the Louds. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting the live. And I'm really happy to hear that you have enjoyed late nights. I'm so happy for it to be back. And tomorrow's a really big day, guys. Tomorrow's a really big day. Corey sent a $1 donation, said period. Yeah, were you trying to say something else, Corey? Corey's my biggest op. Jeez Louise. I swear all she does is bully me. Golly. Okay, guys, tomorrow's going to be really important for two reasons. Tomorrow's really important. The live that we're going to have tomorrow, the last night of Late Nights with Santana, the last night of this topic, it's going to be really important because we're going to be talking about connecting and building. For anyone who doesn't know, the way we do late nights is we talk about different things throughout the week. But as I started to do at the end of this live, the last live is all about solutions. It's all about solutions. So when you guys show up tomorrow, you have homework. When you show up tomorrow, if you get in the box, we're not talking about complaints. We're not talking about sad times. We're not talking about woe is me. Tomorrow, we're talking about solutions. How do we get it done? What does it look like? What do we need? What are next steps? So tomorrow, it's really important. So when you show up with ideas. When you get on the panel, be ready to talk about this is how we get these things done. That's how we run late nights. For anyone who's never got to experience late nights, if this is your first time dealing with late nights, the end of the week, the last night, it's all about solutions. You guys got it? Got it? We're good? All right. Go ahead. Oh, you about to say something, Swan?
Oh, no, I was just saying, absolutely. Understood.
All right. Anything else for the people, Swan?
I am going to be going live. Y'all know I got a couple goals I'm trying to reach. Tell
them about the goal. Tell them, I heard you talking about it earlier. Tell them everything.
Yes. So we work with a gentleman by the name of MZ Elvis Katoto, who is in the Congo. And him and his team have 2 houses that they run. There's one that is for 32 children who are rescued from a displacement camp called Camp Blackvert. Their parents have unalived. This G-side has displaced now the number has gone up just over 10 million people. There are a lot of people a lot of children that don't have their parents. Unfortunately, they've been unalived or they've been taken away or they cannot find them. And then, so that's one house. Then there's another house that has, so far there's 12 girls, 13 infants, one had twins. This house is specifically for trigger warning girls that have been assaulted and have given birth. And obviously their needs are very specific. So we opened up this house in memory of a young girl who was assaulted and unalived. The reason as to why she unalived is because there was an organization that said that they would assist and they pulled out of the assisting. This is the same organization that said that they would assist with the 2 surgeries that we just paid for. So that's what the goal is. So the total amount, because we're trying to cover the rent for the year for both houses. We've already made a substantial contribution, but we want to cover the rent for the year for both houses. But in addition to that, we are also assisting people with paying for their medical debt. Like, for example, for a pregnant woman who has given birth, it's going to be $25 to get her out, $25 US to get her out. And then there's also $300 maternity package that we give to new mothers, right? But in addition to that, there are some surgeries, and this is a result of the environment being so harmful. This is chemicals coming from the mines that are running off from mines and is being dumped into rivers and getting into the environment. One example is we just had an infant that was born with a very large tumor attached to their head. And in order for the infant to survive, we had to pull together $2,000. Shout out to everybody that contributed to help pay for that surgery to save that infant. Another one, they had a back passage way that did not develop properly while in the womb. So we assisted with paying $500 for that one. So our total goal for rent for both houses and then also paying with assisting people with paying for their medical debt is going to be $7,500 total. So I want to say we are at just over 73 right now. I think it's 7,312. We're trying to knock that goal out as soon as possible. And it's a lot, but we've accomplished more. I think this was not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, myself and many other content creators, went hard for like a week straight, and we were able to pull together $16,000 to feed an entire displacement camp full of people. Is just over 12,000 people. 80% of the population was children, and that's why they chose that particular displacement camp. And we were actually able to make sure that everybody had food for 3 days. And if you truly know what's happening in the Congo, you know that was really difficult. Like, we didn't think we were going to get the goal, but we did. So that's the goal for right now. It's steep, but I definitely have faith in us being able to accomplish that goal for sure.
I think we can do it. I think we can do it. And we're going to do it brick by brick, dollar by dollar, time by time. And we'll figure it out together, Swan. You know I got your back.
I appreciate that. I got yours too. Then listen, people that can understand that you are literally saving lives when you contribute, or like if you check on my link tree, there's other organizations that you can assist with. Sudan is a huge one. Sudan right now is dealing with the worst humanitarian crisis on record. If you go to my link tree, it's darfuridp.org. You'll see it in there. They are not paid in any way, shape, or form. That is all. It was created by people who are in Sudan, and they do all of this via volunteer, right? They're not getting paid for any of this. It's difficult because of how, like, I don't know what the proper term is, like organic what they do is difficult because there are not a lot of resources out there. So they do need a lot of assistance, but that's another one that's really important to contribute to. Covey also has the link in her link tree in her bio as well, if y'all know who she is.
Yep.
But
yeah. All right, Swan, go live so we can send you a rate.
Okay, I'm gonna hop down, or you can drop me down.
I got you. W's in the chat for Swan. Guys, for the people that's in the box, I see who's in the box. I see you. I see you. I promise. If you guys didn't get in tonight, I promise you, I will do my best to get you guys up first tomorrow. Okay? Deal? Is that a deal? Can we say deal? For the people that's still in the box, that's still hanging out, is that a deal? Are we good? Deal? Okay. All right. Okay. I see the ones the same deal. All right. We're locked in. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here for tonight. We got a call. Oh, look here. W's in the chat for Ray. Ray sent a $5 donation saying my space would focus on tabletop role-playing games like D&D and how they can help with mental health and creative thinking. Is that a real thing, Ray? I've never played D&D, but like I really enjoy like puzzles, Sudoku, like stuff like the actual games where you really have to think and strategize. Like I love chess. Love chess. So I've never given D&D a shot. So maybe. The game that I don't like playing anymore is frick is that game called? My wife, she beat me like freaking 6 days in a row, and I don't want to play it anymore. What's the game, baby? Rummy Cube. Yeah, screw Rummy Cube. I'm gonna set that game on fire next time she leave house. Not tic-tac-toe. I'll kick some butt in tic-tac-toe. She beat me like 6 days straight in Rummy Cube, and I just said, no, I'm not playing anymore. It wasn't 2 weeks. You lying. It was not 2 weeks. I'm going to set the game on fire when she leave. Watch. Mark my words. I'm going to burn it to the ground. And no, it wasn't 2 weeks. Don't play in my face. All right, we got to get out of here. That was in the chat for Ray. We got to get out of here, guys. We will be back in the morning for some sparring. She got a backup. No, she doesn't. No, I bought that game. She don't know where to get the game. My wife don't know where to get games from. Well, I'm lying. She buys everything off. Oh, I got it. Yep. She buys everything off Amazon. She shows up with stuff that I don't even know that I need before I need it. Like, not gonna hold you. She shows up with stuff that I need before I even realize I need it. W's in chat from Renegade. Renegade sent another $20 super chat saying, I'll bet you 20 that I can turn you into a cyberpunk red. If you hate the game, you owe me my money back. What's cyberpunk? I've never heard of that before. I'll check it out. Cyberpunk Red. I'll check it out. Is it like online? I don't know what it is. Oh, one other thing. I made a decision today for those people watching on Twitch. I brought my system back here. I'm going to hook it up. I'm going to start streaming on Twitch, but just like as like one-off, not anything set. Just whenever I do play the game, might as well like flip on the camera and like play on switches or on Twitch or something. Just because I got fussed at about like ignoring Twitch. So I'm going to stop ignoring Twitch and I'm going to do something just for Twitch. So if you're over on Twitch, I'm going to like do just no YouTube, no Instagram, no TikTok, just Twitch. So follow the Twitch. Santana 24J. All right, we got to get out of here. I thought you was going to pin it. You didn't pin the ad. You said you were going to pin it. I'm about to go. Debbie's in the chat for Jared as well for the $1 donation saying, look at the person that can't make a good TikTok game capping about board games. I can make a good TikTok game. I just can't make a good TikTok game off the top of my head. What's Swan's user? Management was supposed to be posting it or pinning it. She hadn't done it yet. And like now we're running out of time. I don't know what's happening. Game with Santana's right. There we go. There we go. That's our at. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Let's call it.
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late nights, truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams in the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures. But the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late nights with Santana. Yeah, Mama Jones watching. So keep it grown. Ain't about flexing. This is purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight. We here to connect the dots. Yeah.
Hey, why you guys didn't tell me I had something in my beard? All right. Thank you guys for hanging out again. Another nights of late nights with Santana. Again, tomorrow, get back here tomorrow because we're talking solutions. I need everyone's help. We got to figure this out together. I can't do it by myself. I need you. I need you. Tomorrow, show up on time. I'll be on time too. I'll be on time too. Don't worry about me. Just show up and we're going to have solutions tomorrow. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Seriously, it was really good. It was a really good night and I appreciate, what up, Joanna? I appreciate all of you. I do. Thank you all for the gifts, the taps, the likes, the shares. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for being amazing. Look at Mama Jones. I love you all. And as always,